Hey you guys, thanks for tuning into my channel again. I'm here with another tutorial. This is just a really soft mauve, kind of smoky eye look that I'm doing as I'm getting ready for my day. I'm trying this style of filming instead of doing the voiceover for my second video just because I want to see how I feel. I'm still getting used to it. It's super weird to be talking to a camera, but we'll see. I'll probably go back and forth between doing it this way and really doing like a full explanation of everything I'm doing versus the voiceover, which I think moves a little bit quicker. So I don't know, it just depends. Yeah, but I'm excited to show you guys how I created this look and hopefully you guys like it. And let's go to the video. Hey you guys, okay, so we're gonna start off with this tutorial. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my primer as usual. You guys can use whichever primer you like. I am using the First Aid Beauty Hyaluronic Primer. I've been liking this one since I got it in my Ipsy Glam bag. And I don't know, maybe this is different from everyone else, but I like to put it all over my T-zone, on my eyes, and then I like to also just kind of let it spread out into the rest of my skin. Okay, so now that my primer is on, I'm going to go ahead in with my foundation, and I'm going to use the Light Illusion foundation from Mauve Beauty, and this one is in the shade, gosh, I don't know, oh, Tawny M4. So this foundation, I like this one because it is on the dewier side, and when I'm kind of wanting that more of that like dewy finish, I like to use this one, even though I am a little bit on the oilier side, so I know that I have to set this really well. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge. I'm just gonna tap that out. Okay, so I'm going in with my concealer now. This is just the ColourPop concealer, the No Filter concealer in medium 28. I used this in my last video. Of course, you guys can use whatever you have. And I do like to use something that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. Just because I'm also using it to brighten. And I also do want to point out that I'm only using it in these inner parts. I'm not going to really bring concealer out this far because for me, those like smile lines and just little fine lines, the product just tends to kind of like to sit in that area, so I tend to avoid it. In this area, usually I just kind of bring it in here, and then I just do nice big taps all over my eye. And the reason why I put concealer on my eyelid is because this kind of works as my primer, helps to neutralize any discoloration that I have on my eyes, and helps to just kind of even everything out. And then after I've kind of blended out all that product, I like to bring it down the side of my nose, and then I'll bring over any excess and I'll bring it and tap it into the outer parts of my eye, and then I'll just kind of tap it into that temple area there. And I'm just really making sure to be super gentle with my skin. I don't want to do any tugging, none of that stuff. So that's all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my foundation. I'm going to go in with MAC Prep and Prime Transparent Finishing Powder. And since I know I have to set this foundation pretty well because it is on the dewier side, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Beauty Blender. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that product. And I guess it's baking, but I don't really like to do like a substantial amount so that it's just like sitting on my face. I just like to go in here and really just press in that product with my beauty blender. I'm just pressing in that powder. And the reason why I like to do this with my beauty blender instead of a brush is because the beauty blender has moisture on it. So even if I do go in with a few layers of powder, it's still gonna have a little bit of moisture, so it's not gonna leave those areas too dry. It's just gonna be enough for what I need. And I'm making sure to really get in those areas where I would want to crease up a little bit. So right in the under eyes, and then I'm also going to take it right here down the side of my smile lines. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with a setting spray just because I like setting spray. And I'm going to go back in with my beauty blender and just press. I'm going to go in with that Huda Beauty palette, the Mauve Obsessions Palette. I just wanted to feature this one because all the colors are really pretty. So I'm going to start off, I think, with this center color here, and we're going to put that in our crease. And I'm going to go in with a round tapered brush. I'm just going to pop it in there like this, pointing the end of the brush straight into the product, not flat, just putting it directly onto the product there, tapping off the excess. And then I'm going to start off in my outer crease here. Just slight motions back and forth. And just pressing into that crease. And I'm slightly pushing upwards, but making sure that my pressure is right in the socket of my eye. And letting the brush do all the work for me as it kind of brings everything upwards. And then when I feel like I've applied enough product to that outer corner, which is where I want the most color, I'm going to go ahead and bring it out into the center. And I'm going to lessen my firmness. So I'm just going to be super gentle as I'm bringing it in. So again, just really pressing into that inner corner there, slightly pushing upwards as I press that brush into the socket, and then lessening my firmness there, just going in really soft and just blending it inwards. And then with that same brush, I'm going to bring it to the side, and I'm just going to slightly sweep it back and forth. And all that's going to do is it's going to just diffuse that color upwards. And that's my dog. You can hear her barking and growling at people outside. Sorry about that. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so same thing. We're just going in straight, just like we went into that product straight forward. We're going to do the same thing on our left eye. We're going to go right into that socket. Press it inwards just to get that color really deeply into that socket or that crease. I'm just focusing on the outer corner first. Okay, and then I'm going to just bring it up and let the brush do all its work. Okay, and once I've got enough there, I'm just, same thing, going to soften up my pressure on the eyelid, and I'm going to just blend it out really gentle. And then once that's done, I'm going to flatten my brush, and we're just going to sweep it right across that shadow that we just used. We're going to diffuse that product. And then just going back and forth to make sure that everything looks the same. Now we're going to go in with this eyeshadow here. And it's kind of like a dark plum. And we're going to go ahead and put that on with a nice flat brush. We're going to use this flat synthetic brush. We're going to pick up our product with our flat brush here on the flat side. And we're just going to make sure that it's super loaded, so that way you can see we've got a good amount of product. And tap off a little bit so we don't get too much fallout. And then we're just going to press that shadow right onto that lid. And all I'm doing is I'm using small motions. I'm concentrating the product right in the center of my lid. And as I'm doing that, I'm just slightly going upwards and moving my brush up and out and just kind of expanding that product outwards up into my lid. So the goal is going to be to get this to blend up into the lid as seamlessly as possible. I'm going to pick up some more product, tap off, and again we're just going to press right in the center and bring it up. So one key point when you're doing your makeup is to always put your brush down or lay your brush down in the spot where you want the most product. So for me, I want the most product to be right in the center of my eyelid, right here where my iris is, I guess that's what you would call it. So I'm laying down, making sure to lay down my brush right in that area first, so that way that's the darkest part of my eye look. And then I'm just going upwards and blending that product out. So now what I'm doing is I'm just taking the same brush and I'm taking kind of that little edge there and I'm just kind of doing little flicks upwards into that transitional color that we used earlier. And all that's doing is just kind of blending that color up into that transition color so that everything looks really smooth and blended. All right, let's do the other side now. So again, we're gonna pick it up with our flat brush, get a good amount there, dust off any excess, and then we're just gonna come down right on that spot where we want the most product, and we're just gonna, from there, we're just gonna go out. And I'm gonna go back in with that same brush that I had earlier. And with that same color we've been using on the lid, we're just gonna pick up a little bit, dust it off really good. And then we're just gonna go right into that socket and then just blend, blend, blend. And I'm starting on the outer corner, bringing it in and really pressing that product into the socket. I would say my pressure is about a medium right now. And I'm really pushing into the socket there. And that's just, all that's gonna do is just blend out that color a little bit more. Now, same thing on the other side. Now we're gonna take a darker color and we're gonna use this really deep plum shade here. Now we're gonna go in with a pencil brush, and when I say pencil brush, it's kind of like this. It's a small little domed brush. You could even go smaller. I'm gonna take that, pick up this dark plum color here. Gonna load up that end really well. Dust off any excess, and I'm gonna take it right at the lash line. And we're just gonna place those colors right at the lash line. This doesn't seem to be picking up well, so I'm gonna go ahead and change brushes. And we're gonna use a smaller little angled brush because I don't want this color to take over my eyelid completely. Still want there to be some of that reddish color that we used earlier. Just gonna push that right into that lash line and we're just gonna blend it upwards. We're gonna take a black liner black liner here. We're gonna line our lash line. And this doesn't have to be neat. We're just doing nice little dashes across the lash line here. Just like that. We're gonna pick up that plum color there and blend out that black there at the lash line. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna take this white color here, put it up at the top, the brow bone, just like that. And I'm really working it into the brow there. Okay, and after I put in highlight, I always like to go back in with my my transitional color and just go back in and kind of blend the two together. Now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. Okay, so now that my eyebrows are done, I can kind of get a better idea of where I'm going to need more shadow. And at this point, I'm following the shape of my eyebrow, so I'm just going to kind of extend that product out a little bit by pulling really lightly, and I'm taking my brush at this angle. I'm not going in this way, going at this angle again because I just want it to be super soft. And all I'm doing is I'm just pulling product. I don't really have any, I didn't re-dip my brush into my shadow. I'm just going back into this color here that I already have on my lid, and I'm just pulling. I'm just pulling it, that's all. Okay, so now we're gonna do our lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with that same brush there. I'm gonna take the transition color that we've been using all along, and I'm gonna look upwards, and I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna bring it up like this. I'm gonna run it all along my lash line and then bring it up like that. Okay, again on the other side. And also being really mindful to make sure that you get the product just on the tip of this brush, because if you get it all over the like the sides of it, it's gonna bring the product too far. So all I'm wanting to do is get that product just right on the tip. I'm just touching it really gently, as you can see, just like that. Then I'm dusting it off. And the reason I do this is because I just want a really soft lower lash line. I don't want anything defined. I really love soft blown out looks. And especially for a smoky eye, that's kind of what you want. Okay, so that's that. Now we're gonna go back in with liner. We're gonna tight line this, and we're just gonna line our waterline here. And I'm just gonna bring it down into the lashes a little bit. I'm gonna blend this out. Just poke my eye with my brush. Happens all the time. Well, not all the time, but it happens a lot. And we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side if my eye can stop crying. Now I'm feeling like this look is totally one-dimensional, so we're gonna add a little bit of a pop. I'm gonna take some highlighter here. Let's take this color here and this color here. We're going to blend the two. We're just going to pop this right on that inner corner there. Just like that. A little bit more there. I'm just taking it right in that inner corner, just like that. Again, other side. Okay, then I'm just gonna take this one here on the side of my brush. I'm just gonna pop it right on the high point of my brow. I'm just bringing it down. Okay, now after we've gone in with our highlight, we're just gonna go back in with that same brush that we had earlier and touch it back up a little bit. Okay, now time for mascara, and I will do this off camera. Be right back. Okay, mascara is all done, you guys. But now we're gonna go ahead and do our bronzer and blush. I've been using the e.l.f. bronzer in Cool. I'm just gonna pick this up with a bronzing brush, and I'm just gonna take it and really just basically use circular motions, putting it right in those areas where I would want to bronze up my skin. And with my bronzer, I kind of like to take it up a little bit into my cheek, just because I feel like that's where I would normally get a little bit bronze if I was out in the sun. I'm gonna actually go ahead and use this Huda palette as my blush and highlighter. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one here, and I'm gonna just pick up a really tiny amount with my brush here, dust it off, and then we're just gonna tap. We're not gonna sweep it, just tap. And I think because it's part of the palette that I'm already using, it kind of just makes everything look super uniform and really pretty. Here we go. Oh, it's super cute. All right, now for blush, highlighter. Let's go in with this one here, and actually let's mix these two here. That's really pretty. All right, I'm gonna go in with my setting spray. Just get these colors all blended. I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and push this product in. All right. Now everything looks just super like blended, nicely moisturized. And that's the look that we want. Okay, so let's go in with lipstick now. I'm gonna go ahead and line with Chestnut from MAC. It's just like kind of a brown color. I'm gonna do this very lightly on my lips. If you want it soft, you want to angle your brush to follow the shape of your line. So if you're going straight in like this, you're most likely going to get a really sharp edge. But if you want to get a nice soft line, you just lay your pencil down, and this is also going to help you to create a nice uniform line as well. So you're going to just lay down your pencil and just lay that product down like that. And just follow the edge of your lip. Okay, now I'm going in with Hipster from Frankie Rose. And I'm making sure to go over that lip liner. Now I'm going to pop a little lip gloss on top. This is Snow Day from ColourPop. It's my favorite lip gloss. Absolute favorite, right now at least. And that's the look, guys. I think it's really pretty. It's just a very easy smoky look. It's not anything like too outrageous. And it's a really nice way to wear purples or mauve colors. Yeah, so I hope you guys like the tutorial. I'm going to try to be posting every Friday. Yeah, so I hope you guys liked it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, bye. I'll see you guys later.